My name is Desi Octaviani, and I want to start off my speech by representing this keychain. This keychain has five very important things that mean a lot to me. The first is the actual keychain part, which represents me traveling. I got this on my recent trip to Hawaii last month, actually, this month. And on this keychain, it has my house key, my car key, and the key for my aunt's house, and my badge for work. This keychain represents my love for traveling. When I was 3, my first trip ever was coming to America because I was born in Indonesia and I lived there until I was 3. I've also been to many places such as Ensenada, Alaska, Michigan, Oregon, and Hawaii. But coming to America was the longest yet best trip I've ever taken. I want to start off with saying my I Am From poem. I am from a village far, far away, in the country of Indonesia where I used to reside. I am from sleeping on hardwood floors, from roosters awakening my sleep. I am from an airplane flying across the sea to the land of America where I am free. I am from the language of Indonesian to learning English and my ABCs. I am from a family without a father, but grew up with such a loving surrounding. From hand-me-downs given from my sister, but fortunate enough to have a home. I am from the laughs of my peers that sometimes bring the tears. I am from a bright and sunny place, thankful to have each day in grace. San Diego is where I am, and my family is who I am. Indonesia will always be my home, but in America I will never be alone. Coming to America in 1998 at first was a very difficult situation because my family and I did not learn English yet, and we had to adapt to a completely different life. When I was in first grade, my aunt, my uncle, my sister, and I moved to Temecula while my mother stayed down in Poway to live with her new husband, who she recently married. We lived up there for 2 years until my aunt and uncle got a divorce. It was a very difficult moment for me because both of them acted like they were my parents. And after losing my uncle, it really hurt me and brought me back to the fact that I lived my life without a father as well. My aunt and uncle gave me many experiences that I never thought I would have, such as going on trips to Hawaii, to Michigan, to all these places that I didn't think I would be going to when I was a young girl. What's funny is that on our first trip to Hawaii, my sister was unable to attend because she got caught with boys in the house. And so I think that was my biggest memory of that trip, even before the trip happened. And from her, I learned not to have boys in the house when we're not allowed to, and to just listen to what your parents have to say, because in the end, you're going to get rewarded with the rules that you follow from them. The next symbol that represents my life is the key to my car. This key was the first car that my mom bought in America when we first came here. She learned how to drive, and this car was passed down from my mom to my older sister, and now it's been passed down to me. My mom and my sister are the 2 people in my life that have been there since day one. My mom and dad got a divorce when I was 3 when we moved to America. My mom had raised my sister and I by herself, and she is one of the strongest women I know. My aunt, however, was able to help my mom when we moved to America because she knew all the ways of life in America, and she allowed us to live here with her and stay at her home until my mom was able to find a stable job that could support us and our. My family means the world to me, and I would do anything for every single one of them. My aunt, my mom, and my sister are the three most influential women in my life, and without them, I don't know if I could be where I am today. My aunt is my hero, and she has done more than anyone has ever done in my entire life. She has brought me to America, she has raised me as her own child, and she has taught me many morals and values that I should keep and bring on for the next generation of my children. My aunt is a very special person to me because she has the strongest and bravest heart that I've ever seen in any person. She's up for any challenge, and no matter what, she always has a smile on her face. Recently, her best friend Amelia died of cancer, yet she has still been so happy, although she had this huge loss. My aunt is a strong person, and I am very fond of her for being so strong. She's an independent person, and she does not need any man to support who she is. The next item on my keychain that represents me is my badge for work. I started working at Stone Ranch Elementary School as an high school aide for the ESS program on May 21st, 2012. This job has taught me many things that I will definitely use for my future, such as teaching how to discipline kids, learning how to interact with them, and understanding them. In my future, I want to work with the Child Protective Services and be a social worker and help these children who need the help and escape from the homes of their tragic lives. Many people argue with me and say that, Child Protective Services don't make that much money, but for me, it's not about the money, but it's about the rewarding feeling that you feel after you basically saved a child's life. I hope to earn this job by first attending Palomar College next year and majoring in psychology. I also would like to have a minor in social working, so I have all the necessary requirements in order to get that. The next thing I want to talk about is my last day at Rancho Bernardo High School. I spent my first 3 years of high school, from freshman year to junior year, as a Bronco. Here I learned many, many experiences that I will never forget. The best experience that I got there was the HRC, which is the Human Relations Conference in 2011. We had a guest speaker named Keith Hawkins who inspired many of us to just let ourselves go and forgive the ones who've hurt us. Here I was able to learn about the lives that we had no idea of, the people who are struggling to be on their own, and the people who are hurting inside because they feel like no one cares about them. I met 2 girls that quickly opened up to me and felt that they were comfortable to share these stories with them because I was able to share my story with them. And with this conference, it changed my life basically, because it made me realize that I shouldn't be judging people and that everyone has their own struggles and everyone just wants to be loved, and I agree with that. The Human Relations Conference was one of the greatest experiences I've ever gotten to have, and to be chosen as a facilitator was the best thing that has ever happened to me because I have never been chosen to do anything like that. And to know that people want to hear my story and that people want me to represent a Bronco was just a great experience. I switched to Mount Carmel my senior year in order to be with my 2 best friends, Gabriella Archelaos and Jasmine Alaswag. I think this is the best decision I've ever made because here I'm happy to be here every single day and to see my friends that I have grown up with. I think that graduating as a Sun Devil has been the best decision for me because at Rancho Bernardo I felt alone because I didn't have anyone close to me, and I felt that everyone was basically bullying me because everyone would talk about me behind their backs, and I didn't enjoy that. So my last day at Rancho Bernardo High was a sad day, but also a happy day for me to start my new future as Sun Devil. This semicolon represents a project that helps prevent suicide and the self-harmed. As I have recently told you, throughout my high school years at Rancho Bernardo, I felt alone, and I felt that I was basically bullied because of the people that I was hanging out with. It all started in 10th grade with a boyfriend who abused drugs and constantly put me down for every little thing and told me how worthless I was and how much no one cared about me. And after this, it made me really start to think that, oh, maybe no one really did care about me. Maybe I am worthless. Maybe that is why my father, my uncle, and my stepfather left. And I would constantly blame myself for every little thing. From this, I began to self-harm because I was angry with myself, and I thought that it was my fault that everything kept happening to me. And then I attempted suicide. So after the first time I attempted suicide and failed, I realized that that was God's way of telling me that there is someone that cares about me, and that there is someone watching over me all the time, and someone that loves me, even if it's not my dad or my father figure, whoever it was. There's always going to be my mom that loves me, my sister, my aunt, my cousins, my friends, and just also in starting senior year, I continued to self-harm, and I had a second attempt of suicide in that field as well. And my boyfriend at the time knew about this and told his parents because they were psychologists, and he needed advice on what to do. His parents ended up telling my parents because my parents had no idea about what I was going through or anything about me at all, basically. And from this, they suggested that my parents send me to counseling, and which I did. I went to Focus Center down near Hotel Circle, and my psychiatrist asked me what was good in my life, and I thought nothing was good at that point. You know, I was so depressed, and I thought that everything in my life was bad. And then he said, what about work? Is there anything specific in work that's good? And I said, yes, there's this little girl named London. And he goes, well, every time you want to commit suicide or you feel depressed, think of London and think of how she would feel if you had to tell her that, or if someone had to tell her that you're gone, you know. And using that method had really helped me because this little girl is just so amazing to me, and she just is so much like me, and I just have so much hopes and dreams for her, and to crush her like that, I just couldn't take it. So after seeing the psychiatrist for a while, I've realized that I've gotten better, and I'm no longer upset. I don't get upset easily, or I don't cry as much as I used to, and I think I'm a completely changed person. Where I'm from has affected who I am and the person that I'm supposed to be, because where I'm from isn't Indonesia anymore, it's America. Because here I've learned to read, to write, to get an education that I deserve, and I've learned many lessons in life, such as being able to cope without living with my father. I've learned many lessons such as not having boys in the house and just doing good in school. And I think this scrapbook has taught me has reminded me of all the good memories that I have in life and how much good I have in my life. And